Hey all, happy day dear learners. Today we are going to see about the Employee Provident Fund Act 1952. Labor laws are interesting and they are very easy to remember if we learn it like a story and if we learn all the important points. So let's get into today's video. Let's begin with the Employee Provident Fund Act of 1952. So the first and the foremost thing to be remembered is this act acts as a retirement benefit for the people employed in an organization, and it is actually a lump sum payment which is paid after their retirement. So the another thing to be remembered is for the organizations which are included under this act, they come under Schedule 1. Schedules you have to remember, they'll be asked in the examination, and 20 or more persons should be employed for this act to take place in that organization. That is another important point. And the act shall be extended, not giving less than 2 months notice by the appropriate government. The 2 months is also an important point to be remembered here. And next, always you have to remember that section 1 has short title and extension, and under section 2 in each and every act only definitions come under that. And important definition under the EPF Act to be remembered are the wages part. So the main and the foremost thing is wages is just the basic under this act, and it does not include dearness allowance, house rent, overtime allowance. This is very important. And what is the wage limit coming under the EPF Act? The wage ceiling is rupees 15,000. This is another important point to be remembered. Next, let's get into important sections. Section 5 deals with Employee Provident Fund Scheme. You have to remember this. From the year 2019, they are asking sections in the exam sections, chapters and schedule. So let's see about section 5A, Central Board, which is important. What are the components, who are all there under Central Board? The first one is the chairman and the vice chairman. Then the Central Provident Fund Commissioner ex officio. This is important. Sometimes the question might be asked as who is the ex officio under EPF Act 1952, and the answer you have to give is the Central Provident Fund Commissioner. And 5 persons appointed by the central government, 15% by the state government, 10 employers, 10 from the employees and 10 from the employees, and this is audited by the Comptroller and Auditor General of India. Under which act does the Comptroller and Auditor General of India comes? It is the EPF Act. So that is also one of the question. So here you can remember as Central Board section 5A as 5, then 15, then 10. Generally it goes as 5, 10, 15. Yeah, just that you're adding 15 in the beginning and then 10 in the end. So 5 persons appointed by the central government, 15 persons by the state government, 10 employers and the employee. These are the important points to be remembered here. Next, let's see about section 5AA. 5AA is the executive committee. This is also important. Under which act does the executive committee come into place? It is again, our answer is EPF Act of 1952. So the questions can be framed like this. Under executive committee, the things you have to remember is 2 persons appointed by the central government, a chairman, 3 persons by the state government, and 3 from the employers and employee side. So this you can remember as 233. The number 33 here is the same, so just you're adding 233. And 5B is the state board, so you just have to remember the section in the state board. Next comes the section 5C. It's Board of Trustees as body corporates. This is, you can just remember the section in this. And section 5D is the appointment of officers, which is again important. The officers who are there under this act. It's the Central Provident Fund Commissioner, as we discussed earlier. He's the ex officio, right? He's the ex officio. He is appointed by the central government. This is important. And additional officers are appointed by the central board. The central board, just now we discussed, the section is 5A, and the period of their office is, they can hold office not exceeding 1 year. And Another important point is the person who's going to be appointed as an officer should not be an IAS or central or a state government. That is under section 5D. Section 6 we shall see in detail, so please wait. 6A is the pension scheme. So pension scheme under this act is listed under Schedule 3. Schedule 1, what did we see? It is about the organizations coming under the EPF Act. And this one is Schedule 3, the pension scheme. 6C, this is again important section, EDLI, Employee Deposit Linked Scheme, and the contribution should be not exceeding one-fourth of the contribution. That is important. And 6D is not very important, so you can just have a look at it. And 7A, 7C, 7D, if the employer is not paying the employee on time, and if there is any escaped amount along with the interest, he should be paid, and the employee can raise a complaint against payment of the EPF for him. All that comes under section 7. So 7A is determination of money due from the employers. 7C is determination of escaped amount. You can do it up to 5 years. If it has exceeded more than 5 years, you can't raise a complaint or you cannot determine the escaped amount. 7D deals with industrial tribunal. It is very important. Remember the section and the tribunal. It's asked in most of the exams. 7Q is interest payable. So the escaped amount, if the employer is not paying you on time, he must pay a 12% per annum interest on that amount. This is the interest payable. 7I is the appeals to the tribunal. 7L is the... So coming to the 7A, determination of money due, which we did just discuss, the commissioner gives the notice in order to the employer to pay the amount which is due. And DA is not included. It's just basic 15,000 per month. UAN, this is an extra detail. It's universal account number. It is a 12-digit number every employee in an organization holds to link their PF even when they transfer to the other organization. These are some extra information which you can learn and which might be asked in the exam. Form 31 is required for EPF withdrawal. Form 19 is required for final settlement of EPF. 10D is the monthly pension. Form 10D. Form 11 is for the account transfer, and Form 2 is for the nomination if you're transferring your EPF to legal heir or your guardian. So 7D is the appellate tribunal, and the term of office for the officers under this act is not more than 5 years or who has attained 62 years of age. And 7F is the resignation of the officer. President can remove, and they serve for like 3 months. These are the other sections you can refer to, and section 14 deals with the penalty. Every act has lot of penalties to remember, so the easy trick to remember is 1 year 5,000. If these both are involved, then it comes under EPF Act of 1952. Section 8 is very important. It's about recovery of the money due from the employers and the mode of recovery. And section 16, this act does not apply to certain establishment. What are they? Cooperative Societies Act 1912, contributory PF by the government scheme. So coming to the section 6, contribution, which is a very important section. Employer will always contribute 12%. Employee will always contribute 12%. Employer 3.67%, 8.33% in EPS scheme, that is Schedule 3. Section 6A, 0.5% EDLIS, deposit linked insurance scheme. Admin charges would be 1.1 in the case of EPF and 0.01 in the case of EDLI. So total it comes to 13.61, but they generally say 12 and 12, and these are the breakup for the employer's contribution. Some important points which I would like to discuss further is that in the year 2022, when the budget came up, the up to 2.5 lakh of EPF amount is not taxable. They can claim deduction under section 80C. This is one of the important points to be remembered. In the year 2023, some changes are going to happen under the EPF Act. It is proposed. The first one in this is that 75% of the EPF amount can be withdrawn by a person in the organization or an employee if he's unemployed for a period of 1 month. Rest 25% can also be withdrawn if he is unemployed for more than 2 months. So another thing is that in the case of sick industry or having employed less than 20%, EPF contribution can be 10%. This is to be remembered. So next is, if there is a sudden demise of an employee, the guardian or the legal heir can be represented to take his EPF amount for settlement. For settlement, it is Form 20, or to receive monthly pension, they have to fill Form 10D. So settlement Form 20, monthly pension Form 10D. So from 2023, one major change is that for non-PAN cases, the TDS, tax deducted at source, is reduced to 20% from 30%. So these are the important points to be remembered under the EPF Act of 1952. I've given all the important points they ask in the examination point of view and much more extra details. So that's all for today's video. Wish you all the best. Keep learning, keep growing. Thanks for watching.